Something weird is happening at this World Cup. And I don't mean one or two high-scoring games. I mean almost every game feels like it could explode at any moment. Teams that should be grinding out 1-0 wins are losing 3-2. Matches that look boring at half-time end with 5 goals. Defenders who have been reliable for years are suddenly making mistakes they never make. You've noticed it. I've noticed it. Everyone watching this tournament has noticed it. So, what is actually going on? Because here's the thing. It's not just vibes. The numbers are real. This World Cup is genuinely producing more goals per game than any recent tournament. And when you start looking at why, the answer isn't one thing, it's 5 things happening at the same time. And each one alone doesn't fully explain it, but together they make total sense. Let's start with something almost nobody is talking about. The ball. FIFA introduced a new match ball for this tournament. And I know what you're thinking. Bro, it's a ball, relax. But this actually matters. The ball moves differently in the air. It dips. It curves in ways goalkeepers aren't fully reading yet. We saw this before with the Jabulani at the 2010 World Cup. Goalkeepers hated that ball. Shots were flying everywhere, and suddenly every game felt unpredictable. This ball isn't as extreme as the Jabulani, but it's not the same ball goalkeepers trained with all season. They're guessing on certain shots, and at this level, one save matters. Think about it. A goalkeeper who saves 70% of shots from outside the box normally, drop that to 60% with an unfamiliar ball, multiply that across every game, and you've already explained part of the goal's spike right there. But that alone doesn't explain it. Because the teams themselves are also playing differently. Attacking football isn't just a style anymore, it's basically the default. Coaches used to come to tournaments and say, okay, we're protecting what we have. Now, the pressure to entertain, the pressure from fans, the pressure from the media, teams feel like they can't park the bus anymore without getting destroyed online, so they push. Even teams that shouldn't be pushing forward are pushing forward. And when both teams are trying to score, instead of one team sitting back, you get more goals. It's simple math. And then there's pressing. High pressing is everywhere now. Teams don't let opponents breathe on the ball. They win it high up the pitch in dangerous positions, and then they're already in front of goal before the defence has time to organise. 3-4 years ago, that was mostly a European club thing. Now, national team coaches are doing it too. And when you win the ball 30 metres from goal, you're already in a scoring position before you've even built an attack. Pressing doesn't just prevent goals, it creates them. And it's happening more than ever at this tournament. Now, here's where it gets interesting. The quality gap between teams at this World Cup is unusually large. You've got genuinely world-class squads facing opponents who are, look, let's be honest, Hunturi still developing. These smaller nations, they defend deep, they stay organised, they fight, but against a top team with pace and quality in every position. Eventually something breaks, and it usually breaks more than once. Those 4-0 and 5-1 results aren't flukes. They're the gap being exposed repeatedly in the same game. But here's the one that might actually be the biggest factor, and I genuinely think people aren't giving it enough credit. Referees are protecting attackers more than they used to. Challenges that used to be play on are now free kicks. Shoulders that used to be acceptable contact are now bookings. The game has genuinely shifted toward protecting technical players. And what does that mean in practice? Free kicks in dangerous areas, penalties, and defenders who are scared to commit. Because one bad challenge in the wrong spot means a yellow card and maybe a goal from the spot. When defenders can't defend aggressively, attackers thrive, and when attackers thrive, goals happen. Simple. So, new ball that moves unpredictably. Coaches abandoning caution for attack. Pressing creating goals before attacks even develop. quality gaps being brutally exposed, and referees tilting the game in favour of the attacker. That's not a coincidence. That's 5 things pointing in the same direction at the same time. And honestly, it makes this tournament one of the most entertaining in years. But here's what I want to know from you. Are we watching the most attacking World Cup ever? Or is this just a crazy few weeks that won't happen again? Because I genuinely don't know the answer. Drop it in the comments.